You are listening to a BeachGlass Media podcast.
Hello, Simple Times listeners. It's Andrew here, and I just have to give you a little disclaimer at the beginning of the show. So, when Marcelo and I were recording this episode, there was a giant birthday party going on at the house behind me, and they had a DJ, and they were bumping some pretty loud music during the whole time of our recording. So, it basically ruined our recording. So I spent hours and hours trying to figure out a solution to fix our recording, because throughout the whole recording, all you heard was music the whole way through. So with the help of a little bit of AI, I was able to run our podcast through a server or a program that would try to fix the audio. Now, it managed to do a pretty good job. However, it still doesn't sound great. It's definitely not BeachGlass media standards, but it was the best that I can do. So all that to say, it sounds a little off, but it's the best that I could do. So hopefully you enjoy, and hopefully it doesn't ruin your Independence Day, because this is a 4th of July episode. But please enjoy it to the best of your abilities. Hopefully you don't shut it off because you hear the bad quality. But hey, this episode packs a punch, has a lot of fun times, good moments, a lot of interesting things on this one. Hope you make it through the end without ripping your ears off. But here you go, episode 30.
Welcome back for the 30th time, everybody. Simple Times Podcast, episode 30. Boy, do we have a lot. Let's see. We got stories, both me and Andrew, just all over the place. Fake ad, no shout-outs, but we're going to plug in some promos. History with Pepe. Andrew's got a U.S. quiz for me. I have a news article for him, for Simple Times News. Of course, I've got jokes for him as well. And then we also have a special guest today, Bash Roberto. Come on down. Sometimes episode 30. Us Simple Ables. See what I did there? Acronym. Got it? Yeah. It's an Independence Day episode today.
Episode 13. I'm so excited, Marcelo. I'm so happy to be here. And yeah, I am being a little loud because, as you know, Marcelo, there's a party going on
it is
behind me.
And it's funny, right when you talked, the music stopped.
I realized that.
And there it goes.
And the music's back on. So, when I let Marcelo into BeachGlass Media Studio, what did you witness? You heard some loud music.
And I was like, Andrew's really getting down in that studio, you know?
I was getting drunk.
Yeah. And then you open up the gate and I see people on the house behind you, not even really peeking over. They were just standing up straight and just happened to look over into your yard. And I was like, oh, there's a party going on back there.
Yeah. So we're dealing with the party, and it's been going on since like 5 o'clock or something. I come home and there's loud music, and I think it's a birthday party. So
it is definitely, because we all heard everybody sing happy birthday to the birthday
girl.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're here. We're doing this, and we're going to have a good time, even though that music is like deafening. It's like, it's
deafening for us, but hopefully it's not deafening for the listeners.
Right. But yeah, so what's new, Marcelo? We're here on episode 30. I never thought we would reach 30 episodes, but here we are.
I never thought I'd reach the age 30 either. So,
But we went past the age of 30.
yeah.
So we've been in the 30s for quite some time.
35.
I am.
Okay, I'm going to be 35.
You're going to be 35. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's a special episode because we're revolving this one around Independence Day. So we're coming up on the 4th of July.
Yep.
Hopefully by the time you hear this episode, it'll be out in July at least.
Yeah, exactly. It's still June here.
But happy 4th of July, everyone listening. This is a U.S.A. inspired episode.
Yeah. Us simple a-holes.
But before we... Tell me how you came up with that title again. You said you ate some bad pizza or something and you had a nightmare.
No, I could have been the heat from this little heat wave Santa Ana thing. Could have just been tired from the work week. Kickboxing, I don't know, but when you had said that you wanted a 4th of July episode,
then you started pounding some drink.
I was like,
got a little buzz.
I was like, man, what kind of a title should I come up with? Because I always like to come up with a title before we record, so we could kind of try to revolve things around that. And so I was like, all right, what kind of clever title can I put together for a 4th of July? And I was thinking of like acronyms, and I was like, something out of U.S.A. And then I just came up with us simple a-holes.
Is that how you see us? You think we're a-holes?
I mean, in our earlier episode, you said you kind of were.
You know what? Let me take that back. In our earlier episodes, I was kind of an a-hole.
So we should change it to you simple a-hole?
Maybe. Yeah, listening back to our original episodes from way back from the pre-hiatus era.
Yeah,
I was like, man, what was I even thinking back then? I'm ashamed of myself.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. What words I thinking? But you know what? We grow up, we get more mature, and we get smarter, and hopefully it shows on this on this podcast.
Yeah, over it.
So what's this? You came in talking about a broken toe, and you were like, "Oh yeah, when we did the episode with Rory, that's when I broke my toe."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "What?
Yeah,
like how? What? How did you power through the episode with a broken toe?"
It didn't hurt. Like it's like I was telling Rory. Rory was like, "Wow, when I told Rory that I broke my toe, he was like, you hit it really well," and I was like, I wasn't in pain. I'm still not.
Wait, so how did it happen?
I don't know. I truly, honestly don't know. It had to have been when I was kickboxing. I don't know if I landed it wrong doing a burpee. Maybe I kicked wrong. I don't know. I really, truly don't know. But I did kickboxing that morning. The morning we recorded the Free Amigos episode. Felt fine. Worked out. Was great. I did the sauna after. Started to hurt a little bit, but I just kind of felt like maybe I stepped wrong. You know how like every once in a while you get like that pain where like you feel like you stepping up on like a rock? Like a rock's in your shoe and you step on it kind of thing. It kind of felt like that, but up toward my toe.
Okay.
I was like, okay, whatever. Was in the sauna, got out of the sauna, was feeling fine. Went home. That's when I kind of started feeling a little bit more pain. But again, I was like, maybe it's just, maybe I thought maybe I sprained it, bent it back, hyperextended, something minor. And picked up Rory. We came over here. We recorded. And the next morning, I wake up and I literally rolled out of bed and I looked down and my toe was black, blue, and red.
Oh yeah, that's the sign.
I was like,
there.
oh man. So I remember I took a picture and I sent it to my mom because she was a medical assistant. And I was like, broken ? And she was like, yeah, buddy, tape it. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, man, like this is my first broken bone.
Ouch. Really? First time ever?
First time ever. All the falls that I've done, all the fights I've had with concrete stuff. Yeah, I've never broken a bone.
You must have been like full of adrenaline when it happened, because I've noticed that when I hurt myself real bad, but I'm like filled with adrenaline, I don't feel it until I like calm down. So like this one time I was delivering the mail and I stepped off the curb into like a little hole that I couldn't see in like the gutter. And I twisted my ankle, but it hurt for a second, but I was rushing to get the mail out because it's one of those nights where it was late at night.
Yeah.
like 9 o'clock at night delivering the mail. I didn't even want to be there, so I just wanted to hurry up and get it over with. So I kept going. And I was just full of adrenaline because I was like rushing with the mail. And then the next day, I'm like, something's wrong. It hurts like crazy. And then I finally went to the urgent care, and they're like, yeah, you sprained it. And they gave me one of those boots to wear, like a big old
that brace. Yeah,
brace thing.
Uh-huh.
And I go to work next day, and I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm wearing this thing. And they're like, oh, yeah, you can't be here.
Yeah.
Get out.
Well,
we don't want ocean here.
But yeah, Marcelo, that's basically what was happening.
Daddy!
Whoa. Clarky, where'd you come from? What happened?
It's an emergency.
Well, it's an emergency? No, can't you see that I'm podcasting with Marcelo?
Yes, but it's an emergency.
What's the emergency? Someone didn't flush the toilet?
No.
What?
Tutu's playing with scissors that are left opened on the ground.
Tutu? Our kitty cat?
Yeah.
Playing with scissors?
Yeah.
But she has paws.
Opened.
Oh.
Sharp.
Oh, so is she going to cut herself?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, Marcelo, I'm gonna go to the house. Okay. Every time we're busy. Okay, Clark, let's go look at these scissors. We don't want Tuli to cut her paws off. Okay, let's go.
Hurry up.
What is? Could you not get the cat? You need my help now. Oh shit, Beto. Hey, man, I haven't seen you in a while.
You don't have to be mean about it.
I'm not being mean, dude. I'm just saying, like, hey, man, like, I haven't seen you in a while.
Make you feel bad.
And again, like usual, you just missed Andrew. He just went in the house to deal with the cat running with scissors or something like that.
Cat running with
And
scissors.
that's what his daughters, I think, said or something. I don't know. I wasn't paying.
Last time I was here, they didn't even have a cat. What? They have a cat now?
Yeah, they have a cat.
That fool doesn't fill me in on any of his life achievements.
Do you have
and
social
whatnot.
media? I mean, maybe you can follow him on there.
Well, you know what? Remember I said I had to use the payphones?
Oh yeah, that's right. You had to use the app to find the payphones for you to call people.
See, you are correct. But I just got a life achievement. I got myself
Oh shit.
an iPhone.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so maybe you
What
can
number
exchange-
is it?
Number? I think I saw number 3 in there. Maybe an iPhone 3?
Okay,
But-
as long as it works.
Yeah, I saw a G in there too, and that caught my attention because sometimes
Okay.
I feel like I'm a G.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
got an iPhone 3G.
Well, you're a G in more ways than one because now you're a guest here.
Oh, wow.
See what I mean? See what I mean?
Man, you are a smooth talker.
Yeah. So what brings you by today?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I get distracted.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, there's this party going on.
Yeah, we've been the one.
Like a block away, or
Yeah.
is it? I
It's
don't
actually
know.
behind the house.
Yeah, I
It's
hear
like one house
music.
over.
I was looking for the party, and because they invited me.
Damn, that's crazy. They invited you, but they didn't invite Andrew. That's crazy.
Well, it's because they employed me. Remember, I got a job at the mall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they're the owners of the business where I work at, and they invited me. So
Oh, that's cool.
then I figured, wait a second, Andrew lives down just right around the corner. So, well, I figured I'd just swing by. But you said Andrew not here.
Yeah. He wanted to figure out something about a cat scissoring something. I don't know.
And those ain't cats.
I know, right?
Tell you.
Doesn't even have thumbs yet. I don't know.
Well, you're not gonna believe this. I ran into a cat one time. He had a shank.
Really?
I think he was a ghetto cat.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I think I said too much. I shouldn't have called down my homies like that.
That's cool.
In trouble with them. But they're cool. You know what? I'm just gonna get to the party.
All right. Yeah. No, I don't want you to miss any of the good stuff. I did hear him sing happy birthday, so they might have cake waiting for you over there already. So.
And I gotta tell the DJ to blast some reggaeton, if you know what I'm saying.
All right.
Anyway, You looking good.
Thank you, thank you.
You must be working out or something.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I bet you get all the ladies.
Nah, I don't.
Oh, well, I hope you get lucky one of these days.
Yeah, we'll see.
Órale, vato.
Hey, you have good luck at that party. I've seen a couple of the hyenas over there.
Oh, there are hyenas over there?
I heard.
Oh, I thought they were just gonna be white chicks.
Nope.
Ooh. I gotta go.
All right.
I am ready to la fiesta.
All right.
All right. Hey, go see you. Hey, if you see Andrew, you do me a favor and just tell him. Órale, vato.
I'll tell you what. If I see Andrew, I'll yell out, "Beto, get over here!" And then you just peek over the wall.
Oh yeah, I'll peek over the wall
Because
there's some ladies over there.
Yeah,
they look good. Hey, I gotta run, man. I gotta get out of here. Peace out, fool.
All right.
All right, Marcelo, sorry for making you wait. Yeah, no, you're not going to believe this.
Huh?
Our cat,
Yeah.
Thule,
Uh-huh.
somehow knows how to use scissors.
Dang. So sounds like that cat's maybe related to the cat that Beto was talking about when was shanking him.
Beto?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Hey, yeah, Beto came by.
No.
Yeah.
Beto came by?
Yeah. But there is an upside. There is an upside.
I've been looking forward to him. I told him to wait for me.
There's an upside to this. He's at the party on one house over.
He's at that party?
He's at the party.
What a jerk.
I know, right?
So he doesn't wait for me to meet him while he's out, but he goes to the party. That's right. More important.
But I told him that when you come back and we have time, we would just call his name out and he'd look over the wall and see you. Which is ironic because I'm pretty sure that's how he got here in the first place. But he's back there checking out some hyenas. So he's back there eating cake and also the birthday cake too. So he'll be,
you know what? If he's out there and trying to get lucky with the ladies, you know what? That's cool. He deserves it. He got that job at the mall last time I heard. Yeah, he was on here.
And he says that I guess they're the owners or something like that of that job. So that's why that's why he got invited to the party.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. You know what? I can't be mad at the guy. So, good for him. Did he say anything about me?
Just that this fool's always not here whenever I come by and all that stuff.
And screw that guy. All right, well, we got a podcast to record.
All right.
Hopefully he comes back again soon. I miss the guy.
Yeah.
I miss the guy. Said I'd be godfather of his children if he ever had children. So
I think he does. He just doesn't know where they are.
What?
I think so.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Let's get back on track, Marcelo.
Right.
So unfortunately, we don't have any simple shout outs.
Well, it has been a while, I guess.
It's just a little dry spell for some reason.
It's fine.
It is fun. I'm not crying.
No.
But
not from.
Right. Well, once again, for our listeners, if you want to be on the show, you can give us a simple shout out. And you're probably wondering, how do I do that? Well, it's simple. You can, email us at sometime.podcast@gmail.com and just write to us whatever you want. And also hit us up on Instagram or Facebook or X, even though, let's be real, I really only am on Instagram. So, drop us a line right there and we'll feature you on the next episode. Whatever question, comment you have. Want to know, how tall is Marcelo? We'll answer that on the show. If you want to know
5'9", 5'8" and like 3/4 or something like that last I checked. So,
well, I was hoping someone would ask that.
Oh, okay. Well, if they want to ask it, I'll give them a choice.
Or if you have a question like, what kind of deodorant does Andrew use? I'll answer that
question.
Yeah, but send us a line on simple.
Hopefully, he is using deodorant.
Right. And don't forget about the Q&A section for you Spotify listeners. There's a Q&A section down below. Just drop us a line right there. Also, we want to mention a Fear and Review, Marcelo's other podcast.
Yes, we have a episode out. Our latest episode is up right now. Ghost, no,
A spectral asylum.
Okay. There were a couple different titles that we were working on, so I can't remember which one I picked. But
Well, I like that one. Right?
yeah, it was actually, we had our full title was going to be a spectral. What was it? It was a pretty long one. A spectral.
Something at a ghostly asylum.
Hold on.
Spectral specter, spectacularly spectating at the ghostly, ghastly, ghoulishly asylum.
A spectral sanctuary at the ghostly asylum.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
I was close.
And actually, when I put it into the bar where it said like you put the title in, it's like after I I entered it and then I moved on to the next one, it cut off some of it. Not like it purposely cut it off, but like I was like, oh, I don't want it to look like it's unfinished when it gets published. So that's why I decided to shorten it up to a spectral asylum.
Well, I'm glad you did.
But yeah, it's about so little sneak peek. You didn't hear the snippet on the last episode. It's about a movie we watched called Grave Encounter. Sorry, not Ghost Encounter. Grave Encounter.
Grave Encounter.
Grave Encounters, where it's a group of ghost hunters that go into an asylum on their 6th episode of their show.
So I listened to this one and I'm a little confused.
Okay.
You made it sound like it was a parody. Was it a parody or was it trying to be serious?
Kind of both.
Oh.
So they were kind of trying to be like the Ghost Adventures crew, which is where like some of the in my eyes the comedic thing is, but they were trying to make it seem like it was a found footage thing. Well, like it was like it really happened, because it starts out with this videographer going, "I have this tape. This is the raw uncut footage. I'm the one that edits their videos. Here's what we found at the sanctuary or at the asylum," or I can't remember how he said that the guy got the video. And he was like, "Yeah, this is the raw unedited footage of what occurred that night." And then they played it as if like it's a documentary about what these guys went through in that night at the asylum.
Sounds very interesting. So if you want to hear that episode, Marcelo, where can they find it?
You can find us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. You just search for A Feud Review in those search bars on the platforms. Follow us on Instagram, A Feud Review. It's all pretty much the same, A Feud Review. I believe that's really all we're at right now. I don't think, because Google Podcasts isn't around, Amazon Music, we're not on there. And I don't think we really use any other social media other than Instagram. So yeah, give us a follow, give us a listen, do all the stuff that Andrew said to do for our podcast with that podcast.
And once again, that's Marcelo's other podcast. They're doing great.
With Rory.
With Rory. Yeah, we can't forget about Rory. And you did hear Rory on episode 29 of the Simple Times podcast, The Amigos. That's right.
And then I hear that you have an episode coming up.
That's right. I want to promote Simple Sessions. Simple Sessions is a little bit of a variation from Simple Times podcast. It's the Simple Times podcast, but it's like a specific I don't want to call it series. It's just a different format compared to our normal episodes, but
like a show within a show.
Exactly. We did a Simple Sessions on St. Patrick's Day. I had my friend Jurgen on, my friend Luigi on, and next one coming up is my friend Nate Leathers, who was in the band that we did.
My kidney stone buddy.
Right.
Yeah, but I had a kidney stone like right around the same time. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. Was it a kidney stone? I remember it was his appendix blew up.
No, he had a kidney stone before that.
Oh,
I think.
Wow.
Because it was, in fact, if you want to go back to our old episodes, we did the Disney episode with him. And yeah, that's where he talked about the car accident that he had. And then that's when we found out that both of us had a kidney stone, like right around the same time.
That's too funny. So anyway, I interviewed him once again and we kind of caught up and what it's like being in a band and, just a lot of personal stories on what band life was like. And, it's going to be a special one for me, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it. So keep an eye out for that one. That's going to be the next thing that comes out from some kind of podcast. But you know what? Enough with our promotional commercials, but I do have one more commercial for our podcast. And
You
it
mean to
is,
tell me that we have a fake ad?
we have a fake ad.
Right.
So,
It feels like it's been forever since I've read a fake ad.
I know. All right. So fake ads. So, Rory read the previous one.
Right.
And, I have some bad news. So people started downloading, the screen time reducer,
Oh, huh?
and people's phones started blowing up because of it. So there's a huge lawsuit going around. So fake ads said, you know what?
They can't afford to pay
They
us.
can't afford to pay us because they're paying for
Yeah.
people's phones to be replaced. So we didn't get the money for that. But they're so kind enough to give us another chance. So this is what happened. I go to Starbucks, I go to restaurants, and everywhere I go, they have a tablet screen, and
Oh, huh?
they're always asking for a tip.
Yeah, the kiosks and all that stuff. Yeah.
And you know, I'm a principled man. Like I like to tip after the services has been completed.
Okay.
You know, once like the food service is done, like that's how I want to tip. But I feel like nowadays it's like they want you to tip up front before you get your food, before the service is completed.
Well, you have to pay before. Like if you go to a Starbucks, you got to pay before the product. It's not like a restaurant where you can sit down and pay at the end after your food.
You know, that is a good point, Marcelo. You know, I guess there's more than just air in that head of yours.
I say there's plenty of room for everything.
But you get or at least you get my side of the point.
Like I had to make so much room so I took my hair off.
You gotta stop making me laugh. You're trying to do something here, Marcelo. So you get that screen and it's like 10%, 50%, 20%.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I always tip the least amount because, but I still feel guilty for doing that because I'm like, are they expecting a middle tip option? But in the end, they're only getting 88 cents. So is it really? Anyway.
I'm sure it adds up at some point.
So anyway, I reached out to Fake Ad and I'm like, hey, Fake Ad, you got anything about tipping, like anywhere around it? And then surprisingly, they were like, Gadzooks, do we have an ad? We just hired on this company to promote their ads. And can you read this one? I was like, hell yeah, I can read this one. Better yet.
You know someone that can.
I know someone that can read and they'll be happy to read this one. So yeah, this ad for, it's called Tipping Cards.
Have you started developing tipping fatigue? Do you loathe thinking about tipping because of how poor the economy has been for you, but at the same time, you're thinking that you could be helping someone else during this poor economy? Are you tired of getting the tablet turned on you and the cashier saying, it's just going to ask you a couple questions just to be slapped with a prompt to leave a tip? Well, we have the solution for you. Introducing Tipping Cards. This revolutionary new product will solve your tipping problems. Tipping cards the size of a business card, and instead of leaving a monetary gift, you leave your server a word of encouragement printed on the back of each tipping card. Words of encouragement like, keep up the good work, or I love the way you did that, or glow wherever you go, or you are amazing at what you do. With tipping cards, you will be a trendsetter and a revolutionary at changing the tipping culture. Instead of tipping cash, you're tipping positive messages that will be sure to lift the workers' spirits up. For a low price of $1,000, you get a stack of 1,000 tipping cards. That's our lowest price yet. What are you waiting for? Change the world one tip at a time with tipping cards today. Order yours now. Supplies are limited, refunds not available.
Excellent job, Marcelo. Wow.
That's only $1 a card.
Yeah, $1 a card. So instead of tipping $1 or 88 cents, like I mentioned, $1 for this card that you could leave to the barista or whoever, and you can even leave them 2 cards or 3 cards or 4 cards.
Yeah.
And it's only better than tipping.
In some ways, yeah. I mean, imagine if it's somebody that you don't think that really deserved like a monetary tip.
Give them a tip card.
Yeah.
A little word of encouragement.
Yeah. Not too bad.
I want one that says, "You the man."
Yeah.
Anyway, so hopefully I'll keep you updated, see if we get that paycheck for fake ads, because they're offering us loads of cash.
Yeah. So, speaking of like tipping and gifts,
Yeah.
I have something for you.
You do?
I do.
What?
So I'll be honest. If you and if you don't like it, it's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh, I hate that when like during the holidays and Christmas, they're like, "I got you something, but if you don't like it, here's the gift for."
Well, because I'm not sure if this is really your style.
Oh,
that's
okay.
the thing.
Huh.
So my dad gave me one of his old shirts that don't fit him. It fits me a little big.
Okay,
but I figure since you're taller, it might fit you a little better. So it's a button-up shirt, kind of a Hawaiian theme.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, let me just grab it real quick.
Sounds good.
All right, so this is it. It's extra large, I believe.
Oh, look at this.
No, it's a large.
It's a large?
It's a large. But like I said, it's kind of, and do you remember that company?
Big Dogs?
Yeah. You never heard of that company?
You know, it kind of looks familiar, but
that mascot right there, the dog on it, the black and white dog, was on like every shirt, every hat, everything. You get this. Like I mainly got these in like Palm Springs and stuff.
this is cool. I like this. Let me try to put it on right here. Thank you, Marcelo. You're holding the mic for me.
No problem. Well, we need mic stands.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. I know.
We need more subscribers.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Does it fit?
Well, what do you think? It looks like it fits.
Yeah, it does.
I'm gonna have to wear this to church tomorrow.
Hey, there you go.
Well, I like the buttons. They look like little
wooden ones.
wooden buttons. That's cool. What's on here?
And then you got just big dogs written in blue stitching, kind of blends in. And then the rest are just like hula girls. Got some palm trees.
Dude, this is cool.
And I think that's really about it.
And blue is my favorite color.
There you go. And it's a lighter material, so it should be a little cooler.
Dude, I like it. I like it a lot, man.
No problem.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Thanks a lot. So not only do I have a cool shirt on now, you came in with the loudest shirt I have ever seen. And I thought,
well, the loudest that I've worn. Yes.
the loudest you've worn. Like a few episodes ago, your mom gifted you a shirt when she went to the Bahamas.
2 shirts, but I brought in the better fit.
You were wearing in the one, and I thought it was just, well, it was cool.
Yeah,
it was a cool shirt, but it was pretty loud. But now you come wearing this into the studio.
Yep.
This thing is super loud. I'm going to take a picture of you before the night. We'll post it on Instagram because our listeners like seeing, pictures of our episodes. But I mean, I see waves. I see like Kool-Aid inspired.
Well, it's not Kool-Aid.
I know. It says Flavor Aid.
Yeah.
But it looks like a Kool-Aid packet on there. There's a guy with sunglasses. I'm not really sure who that person is.
I don't think you know who it is.
So it's like a blue and purple shirt with pink flowers, but then the
kind of like a Hawaiian tropic kind of
Hawaiian tropic. But the character, the person on there is in black and white.
Yeah.
All over the shirt, and it's just this pattern going all around the shirt. It's a really cool shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not lying, but can you fill me in? Because I don't know what's going on here.
So this is actually one of 2 shirts that I got at Monsterpalooza. A couple weeks ago. No, a month ago now. How long has it been?
Weeks, huh? It's been a few weeks.
Okay. So this is by a company called Western Evil.
Wow.
They had a booth at Monsterpalooza. It's funny. We noticed they had a couple different cool shirts, like kind of like Western wear, like the old kind of like cowboy, but like the flamboyant looking cowboys with like the tasseled shirts and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Like,
yeah. I'm just picturing Marty McFly when he goes into the path.
Yeah.
1885 or whatever.
And he's Clint Eastwood.
He's Clint Eastwood. Yeah. And he's wearing that bright shirt.
Yeah. Before he gets the actual cowboy garb and all that stuff. Yeah. So we stopped by. We were looking at that. Rory, I think picked up a shirt or 2. And then as I'm looking, going, they've got a couple of cool shirts. One of the other shirts that I picked up was a black and white shirt. I wasn't going to wear it, but I figured this one's a little, I like this one better than the other one. The other one's really good too, but, I'll wear the other one another time. But it's a black and white, and it had a bunch of faces on it that were like mugshot faces. And I'm like, and at first I was kind of like, I wonder who they are. And then as I started looking around it, I saw like, oh, that's Bonnie and Clyde. Oh, that's Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, that's Ted Bundy. There's Ed Gein. And I started realizing, oh my God, these are mugshots of all the famous serial killers.
Right.
So then I kind of talked to the guy a little bit, and the guy was like, yeah, they make a bunch of t-shirts that always have some type of serial killer or like some like horror / evil figure, Western evil. And then they do like a cool pattern with it. And then I saw this one. This one, I don't think you know who this is at all.
I can't tell just from looking at it.
I want to say I've told you about him before, but the guy on the shirt is Reverend Jim Jones. He was part of the People's Temple. No, I'm trying to think. I can't remember what the church was that he was a part of at the time. Before he decided to create his own, essentially what came to be known as a cult.
Okay.
And they picked up and they moved to Guyana, which is a small country in South America. And he created Jonestown. And he ended up convincing people to kill themselves. So it was a mass suicide of like 700 people.
I've never heard of this one.
I'll send you a couple podcasts that talk about it, and it's insane.
Is he alive today?
No. He killed himself as well with all the people there. So I mean, it's a whole thing. Like, and the creepiest thing about the whole thing, he recorded almost everything that he said. And when he was in Jonestown on the day when he had everybody commit suicide, you could hear people committing suicide in the background as he's talking. So then the other thing that you're mentioning, the flavor aid.
Oh man. Okay. I'm still wrapping my head around, I've never heard of this, and that is insane.
Yeah. So, and my dad and then Rory's mom, Liz, remember us hearing about it in the news. About how there were 700 people that committed suicide down in.
So when was this? Like in the 90s, the 70s?
The 70s. I think they committed suicide in 74.
Wow.
So yeah, but we had the flavor aid. So it's not Kool-Aid.
Right. It looks like a Kool-Aid packet.
Because Kool-Aid was the name brand, but this cult was poor. They had no money. So I mean, they literally had absolutely no money after the whole. Moving to Jonestown and all that stuff. So they went out and they got knockoff Kool-Aid, which was called Flavor Aid.
Oh, so that's an actual brand.
It's an actual brand I don't think is around anymore because of him.
Oh, no thanks to him.
Well,
I wish I could have tried Flavor Aid.
Well, the way that he made his flavor, the reason why he used Flavor Aid was because he had everybody swallow arsenic, which is a poison. Right. So he mixed it in. He mixed in barbiturates, arsenic. Was either arsenic or cyanide. I can't remember which one it was, but I know it was another poison. Made like a little cocktail out of it, and then added the flavor aid, thinking that it would make everything go down easier, and they'd be able to taste or not taste anything. And that's kind of where the whole saying "Don't drink the Kool-Aid." You ever heard of that?
I have heard of that.
Because of him. He made everybody drink the Kool-Aid and they all died. So
that's how they died?
That's how they died.
By drinking the Kool-Aid.
They drank the flavored Kool-Aid, but they say Kool-Aid because
everyone knows what Kool-Aid is.
Exactly. So yeah, he made everybody, and even babies. Like if they're babies, they had to go first. And the mothers would get syringes and drop and squirt stuff in their mouth. And the problem is that the poison, what makes the recordings horrific is that the poison, once it gets into your system, it basically burns from the inside out. It like attacks like your lungs and your heart. So like you basically feel like your inside's melting.
All right, Marcelo, I'm going to have to cut you off right now. That is disturbing, but maybe we'll have to bring this on as simple sessions during the month of October for
maybe,
some creepiness.
Maybe.
Scary.
But I'll definitely send you two shows that each did a 3-part. No, one show did a 3-part. Another show I think did a 4-part. of the Jonestown series. Just the lead up to it. I mean, it's like, it kind of makes you, like I know you're a Christian and grew up Christian. It kind of makes you wonder about like people's real ideas of faith, because he started as just a Christian Baptist. All he wanted to do was just help people. And he was helping people in the beginning.
Wow.
If like an old lady, like a pensioner, was getting ready to lose her house because she wasn't able to afford it anymore, he would create like a fundraiser kind of a thing, get people to donate, and they would pay off her house. So this way she wouldn't have to worry about losing her house anymore.
Right. I guess my question is always like, okay, I understand the faith side of things, but it's like, what happened to get to the point where you're giving people poison flavoring? Like,
and they definitely talk about the evolution into his thought process. Because Jim Jones documented everything, and there's only 5 or 6 survivors of the Jonestown massacre that managed to get away. He even killed a senator.
Wow.
No, a congressman.
Wow.
Who went down there to try to pull people back, to say, hey, no, you got to come back. Like, come back. You know, it's cool. But he had his own army and everything. It's a whole. It is drug fueled. He ended up doing I want to say they said crystal meth or crack.
Oh, so maybe
speed. He did speed just so he could stay awake, to come up with ideas on how to make money for the church.
The drugs maybe kind of leaned him towards doing this stuff. They said at
some points he was up for almost 72 hours. So yeah, he was just getting paranoid, and it was just taking a toll on his brain, and he started having like a God complex and all that kind of stuff. And
yeah, sounds like
started kind of spiraling out. But yeah, it is insane. Like, of all the cults that I've heard of, that one is probably number 1. Number 2 is Heaven's Gate, which is still completely different. Different topic.
If you ever get invited to a party and you wear that shirt, man, you're going to be the talk of the town.
Yes, I am. I'll make sure I bring some Kool-Aid too.
Oh, Marcel, I don't even
great, because I think that's what the flavor of this. Yeah, great.
Yeah, you wear that shirt,
and it's made with vitamin C.
You wear the shirt, you bring Kool-Aid, and said, "Hey, who's thirsty?"
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yep.
Marcelo, I'm at a loss for words. I don't even know where to go from here. You pick. You decide. I don't know where to go from here. Well, what do you want to hear?
So I heard that you had some kind of mailman story.
Oh, yeah. Mailman story.
Did you kick another dog?
No, I did not kick another dog.
Oh, so it's gonna be a good story then.
Do you think I'm Reverend Jim Jones or whatever? What's his name again?
Jim Jones. Yeah, you got it.
Oh, I got it right.
Yeah, you got it right.
Well, do you think I'm Reverend Jim Jones or something?
I mean, when it comes to kicking dogs, if Jim Jones kicked dogs, then maybe.
No, that's messed up. But anyway, no. I guess it kind of ties to what we were talking about. So mailman stories. I work at the post office. I'm a mail carrier. And I experienced something that I've never experienced before, and it's kind of a sad one. It's kind of a downer. I had a coworker pass away recently.
He didn't bring Flavor Aid, did he?
No, he didn't.
Okay, because I would say, "Ooh, that'd been in kind of poor taste, be kind of funny for my end." So
true. No. Sorry to make it a little more serious over here, but yeah, a coworker passed away. Now, during my career at the post office, we've had many stand-up talks about, retired mail carriers that have passed away, and they do a speech about them, and then they talk about, their funeral service is going to be on this day, whatever. But this is the first time that someone that I actually knew passed away. Apparently, they were dealing with cancer.
Okay.
So they were doing chemotherapy, and then surprisingly, they came back to work, and he, I think what they're saying is he had a heart attack I think he had blood clots in his legs or something, and just ended up having a heart attack, and it just so sudden. It's one of those things where it's like, wow, I just saw this guy, and now I'm hearing the news that he passed away, and it's just crazy. And so,
did you actually work with him?
Yeah, I would talk to him all the time. We had some catchphrases. He was a Mexican man, very loud, very outspoken. Spanish was his first language, but he's very, smooth with his talking. Like you could tell, like he's like a smooth talker, one of those smooth talking guys, older gentleman. Yeah, I want to say he must have been in like late 50s, maybe early 60s. He was a little older. But yeah, I miss him at the office. He had a character. He was, like I said, very loud. He had this deep, guttural voice with gravitas, and he would always just like when he'd greet you, he'd be like, "Buenos dias, mi Andrew," kind of like that. And I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah.
Just missing that voice, that presence he had. And, I was talking to some of my coworkers and I'm just like, it makes you think, try to, at least for me, at least is you don't know when it's going to be your last day unless you're Jim Jones. But, live life to the fullest, seize the moment, try to make a positive difference in the world when you get a chance. Take care of your health. Do whatever you can to, stay healthy and, just be a positive person for the people around you, because you don't know what impact you can make on someone just by, being yourself, being who you are, being a good person in this world. So, yeah. And I mean, that's pretty much my mailman story is, yeah, you just never know when somebody that is gonna pass away.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever had a coworker that you knew pass away or anything?
Coworker? No. When I was at the retirement home, I had a lot of residents that passed.
Oh, right. And did you know them on a personal level, or?
I do. I mean, there were some that I did see regularly, and then there were some that I saw sparingly.
But you kind of knew they were on their
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
There were a few that, they'd be fine one day and then they would get hit with either pneumonia or the flu, go to the hospital, and then they'd be gone within a day or two. But for the most part, I'd say that, yeah, they were kind of knew that it was coming. They'd go to the second floor, which is like the kind of like intensive care, I guess you could kind of say. Ones that were like completely bedridden, they were like, hospice kind of a level.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, there were a lot. One lady that really stands out, when I went to the two of them is, Ann Coyne and, what was her name? Jean, her name was Jean Grey. What was her I can't remember what her last name was.
Well, what stands out to them? Why did they stand out to you?
Ann Coyne was just one of the sweetest little ladies that I had ever met, and she was from Ireland. She was from Dublin.
Oh,
back
yeah.
where Patty is from, yeah.
Yeah, Patty.
And she.
And do you think she knew Patty?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Yeah. She. I don't think she did.
But Ann Coyne.
She took care of the house dog too. There was a dog named Jenny that they had, a border collie. The company, every location, they had a border collie. That was like their mascot. And then Jean, she was the one of my, like early on in my first couple months that I was there, she was 101.
Whoa.
And she was living on first floor, which is basically you just need help, maybe like going to the bathroom sometimes. Maybe you sit down too long, you can't quite get up. Nurse can come and help you out.
Right.
Nothing really like too strenuous. But I remember one night I kept hearing like this click, 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 click coming down the hallway, and I looked, and it's her with her walking cane.
Oh,
walking down. Yeah. But she had like this cadence, and she came up and she dropped the mail. She goes, "I'm just dropping my mail off." I was like, "Okay." I said, "Good to see you." And she goes, "You want a nip?" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You want a nip?"
Man.
My first thought was, so whenever you ask someone like, "Hey, do you want a swig of this, of like this whiskey or whatever?" You ask, "You want a nip?" That's what they call it, calling it a nip.
Okay.
And I was like, stuff like, gee, like, what do you, you're not supposed to have alcohol. And it's those candies. Have you seen the nips?
Nibs.
Nips. They're like, they're little hard candies. Sometimes they're like coffee flavor. There's toffee, there's butterscotch, all this stuff.
That sounds pretty good, but okay.
Well, she would have like, she'd always have it in her pocket. She would like one of the old lady that always has candy in her pocket.
Always have candy in their pockets.
And yeah, she had one ready. And I was like, sure. So I took it, and I saw her a couple times after that. And then I think she did go to the hospital. She got sick during flu season, which is really where all of them did. She ended up passing away. But the cool thing was she was 101 and still doing her own laundry.
Wow, that's impressive.
She was doing a lot of the stuff by herself at 101. And she did not look 101. She looked like maybe she was in her 80s.
Really?
And she was still mobile. She was still, she would walk by herself. Most people there that were like in their 90s and in the hundreds, they were bedridden, but she wasn't.
Right. That's insane.
And then this is something that I'll probably talk about on my fear review later. I had kind of like a little slight little ghost, unexplained ghost encounter.
Oh my goodness.
That kind of revolved around her too. I heard her cane after she had passed, walking down the hall, like that same cadence. And I was like, oh my God, it's Jean. Not realizing, like at the time when I would work nights, I'd be like half asleep. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, Jean's coming dropping off the mail. And then I was like, wait, she passed away a couple weeks ago. And then I looked down the hallway and didn't see anything. But you could hear that cadence that she had, that click, 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 click.
You're going to have to give us the full story on A Fear and Review.
Yeah. And I will. But those are probably the two that stood out. Since then, since I've left, I have heard of a few people that have passed away, but nothing that really impacted me like how Anne Coyne or Jean did. So
yeah, and I could say that their names are in the history books.
Yeah, exactly. So
and and you were saying Anne Coyne was 101?
It was 101. No. Jean was 101. Anne Coyne was, I want to say, about 95.
That's still old. You know who else is old? Our president of the United States.
Well, I thought you'd say American, but okay.
America is old. But before we get into the talk of the United States, which that is still coming up. I can't believe we've gone on this podcast for so long, for about an hour. We still haven't gotten to the U.S.A. part that we were talking about at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
But first, it's time for History with Hefe.
All right, so we're doing it a little different.
Oh,
For right now, or for the first part, I'm going to go through today's history, which is June 29th.
yes, sir.
So today in history, in 1613, Shakespeare's Globe Theatre in London burns down during the performance of Henry VII.
Wow.
In 1939, Ford introduced the revolutionary Ford Ferguson 9N tractor, incorporating Harry Ferguson's 3-point hitch system. Not sure what any of that means, but I figured, hey, that's cool for Ford.
Very cool.
In 1994, U.S. opens Guantanamo Naval Base to process refugees. Today in film, in 1964, NBC approves Gene Roddenberry's script for the pilot episode of Star Trek, titled The Cage.
The Cage.
Which ended up becoming one of the biggest IPs in history and biggest fandoms. I mean, it's still going on today of all the different, what do you call it? Not incarcerations.
I think I know what you're trying to say.
But I can't.
I think my tiredness is hitting me right now.
Yeah, whatever that word is.
Incarnations?
Yes, incarnations. Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, I think so.
You have to give me a second,
Sure.
yeah?
Today in music, 1888, the first known recording of classical music made Handel's Israel in Egypt on wax cylinder. Have you seen a wax cylinder?
think I have. I have.
It's a cylinder and it's wax, and they kind of they'll set it up, and then you'll talk into the cone, and then your vibrations will make the needle jump.
Yeah, the cone is spinning.
Yeah, and then it was a predecessor to the vinyl disc.
Yeah, I saw something on Instagram, and it showed how that was done. It was wild. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Today in sports, 1958 FIFA World Cup final in Rosunda Stadium in Stockholm, Sweden. Vava and Pele each scored 2 goals as Brazil beat Sweden 5-2. Did you know that Thomas Beatty, the world's first pregnant man, gives birth to a daughter, June 29, 2008?
Did the baby come out of its womb?
I don't know. It doesn't give details.
Okay.
Famous birthdays today. Harmon Killebrew, which I don't think you probably know. He's a baseball player, or former baseball player. Sadly, he just passed away not that long ago. Richard Lewis. He was born on this day in 1947. Harmon Killebrew, born on this day in 1936. And then basketball player Kawhi Leonard celebrates his 33rd birthday today. Somebody named Rosa Mota. She is a marathon runner. So I guess she won a bunch of medals: bronze, gold, silver, and multiple Olympic marathon medals. So that's pretty cool. Wow. Earth records its shortest day ever. 1.59 milliseconds faster than a standard day on this day in June. This day in 2022. So, like I said, it's gonna be. Oh wait. Almost forgot. Famous deaths.
Oh yeah. We did talk a lot about deaths, so we can't do without history with effort without deaths.
We got Katharine Hepburn, who died on this day in 2003. She was 4 years shy of 100 years old.
Oh, so close.
Yeah,
who said 100?
And then here's a guy who was who was 2 years shy of 100 years. Carl Rayner. He was a full picture I'm going to show you. You've seen him.
All right.
Yeah.
I remember him in.
The one thing I remember him is 2.5 Men.
He's in 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
I remember him from Ocean's 11.
That too. Yes.
That's the first time I've seen him in something.
Yeah.
And I loved his character.
Yeah. I always remember when they were trying to rappel down the elevator shaft, and everybody else was like sliding down, and he's going like inch by inch because he's like the old man that can't quite get down there. So going back to what I was saying, the reason why this is a little different, since it's a 4th of July episode, we're not be here out 4th of July, or we're not recording, I figured I would do 4th of July as well on this day.
Yay!
So of course, 4th of July, on this day, we all know that in 1776, U.S. Congress proclaims the Declaration of Independence and independence from Great Britain. Also in 1803, the Louisiana Purchase is announced to the American people by President Thomas Jefferson. July 4th, in film and TV, in 1970, Casey Kasem's America's Top 40 debuts on LA radio.
I love your Casey Kasem's.
Do you even know who Casey Kasem was?
No, but I know who he is a little more every time you do his voice.
I actually listened to Casey Kasem in reruns when he was alive, through iHeartRadio. There would be in fact, we were on Port Seafood, on Trimmer Island.
Oh, okay.
I would hear him in the mornings, and they would just play top 40s. It would just be him talking about what's the next cool top 40 hits at the time on the Billboard, all that stuff. But then I ended up finding out that he was the voice of Scooby Doo.
Oh yeah.
Scooby-Doo, Shaggy. And the original Where Are You, Scooby-Doo?
So you mentioned that on the previous episode 2.
Yeah. So also on July 4th in 1831 in music, America, My Country, 'Tis of Thee, with lyric by Samuel Francis Smith, has first public performance at Park Street Church in Boston, Massachusetts. On this, almost said on this day, but on July 4th, 1939 in sports, Lou Gehrig is first MLB player to have his number 4 retired on his appreciation day at Yankee Stadium. Makes the iconic luckiest man speech. Now, are you familiar with Lou Gehrig? You ever heard of Lou Gehrig's disease?
Yes.
Which is also ALS. He was diagnosed with ALS. He wasn't the first, but he was just the biggest famous person.
Yeah.
He was a very, very good Yankee baseball player. Can't remember which position he played. I want to say he played the outfield. He got diagnosed with ALS and he couldn't play anymore. So he made this big speech. He announced his retirement early. He was projected to have a phenomenal career. And I believe he's the one that holds the record for most, and still to this day, most consecutive games with a hit at 56. It's come close. Maybe guys have hit like in the 40s, but nobody has hit 56 or more, or hasn't had 56 or more consecutive hits, in baseball history since, he retired in 39. So we're talking almost 100 year.
That's crazy.
But yeah, he made the luckiest man speech and said, "I'm the luckiest man alive. No, I'm the luckiest man on the face of the earth."
Right.
For playing for the Yankees, for having that opportunity of being basically the number 1 guy in the world. Yeah. So on July 4th of all days, on Independence Day, is when he announced, he retired.
Wow.
And,
that's a big achievement.
Yeah. So, how also did you know on this day, on this day, July 4th, 1941, Howard Florey and Norman Heatley met for the first time 11 days after they successfully recreated penicillin.
Wow.
So yeah, without them, we wouldn't have had penicillin.
Glad they met up.
Famous July 4th birthdays. We have author. Let me just double check here for a second. Yeah, author Nathaniel Hawthorne. I know that. I'm trying to think of what he wrote. I wanted to say, it was The Scarlet Letter. That's what he wrote. Was born on this day, 1804.
1804.
Former President Calvin Coolidge, born on this day in 1871. Some other famous birthdays, actors. Neil Simon. Probably don't recognize him.
Doesn't look familiar.
But he was a playwright and a screenwriter. He was the one that created the playwright for Barefoot the Mark and The Odd Couple. Remember The Odd Couple?
Odd Couple.
Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon.
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
He's won a bunch of Tonys, won a bunch of Oscars. Just really, really, really good stuff. And then also, he was born in 1927. And then also celebrating an 80th birthday, Geraldo Rivera.
Is that the Geraldo large guy? Oh, yeah. I recognize that mustache.
He's 80 on July 4th.
Wow.
Musicians, Bill Weathers. Do you happen to know Bill Weathers? Ain't no sunshine till she's gone.
That was beautiful, Marcelo, but no, sorry, it doesn't ring a bell.
I'll have to play some of his because that one, and then Lean on Me.
Lean on Me? I know Lean on Me.
Yeah, he wrote that one.
Oh, wow.
And then also Lovely Day. That's probably one of my favorite songs. It's one of those songs where it's like, if you wake up in the morning and you play Lovely Day, you're gonna have a good day. It's just one of those just really upbeat songs. So
I'm gonna look that up.
He was born 1938 on July 4th.
Nice.
And on July 4th, celebrating a 28-year-old birthday, Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Yeah.
He's a postal worker, right?
No, he's a singer.
Oh, he's a singer.
Is there another guy named Post Malone at your work?
No. I was just trying to make a dumb joke. He's a dude with the face tattoos.
One of the guys with face tattoos, yes.
One of the guys with the face tattoos. Everyone has face tattoos nowadays. Seems like
athletes born on July 4th. Not really an athlete, but he's known for being in the world of sports. Al Davis He was the owner of the Raiders for a long time. He was born July 4th, 1929.
Now the Raiders are in Vegas.
They are in Vegas now, under his son, who owns that, Mark Davis, who has the weirdest fucking haircut ever. I'll show you. Like this weird bowl cut, but it's like really cut really high. Almost looks like, did you ever see the Shrek movie where that little German kid goes, "Do the roar"? Where he walks up to Shrek and he sees, Shrek, and he's like, "Do the roar, do the roar."
Do the roar?
Yeah.
I don't remember that
Wait,
part.
remember that one? I think it was
But I remember seeing weird bowl cut haircut dudes in that movie.
bowl cut, but like the bangs were like cut really high. It's a weird fucking haircut. I'll show you.
The first Shrek?
No. It's like the third or fourth one.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
Okay. Yeah,
it's after he had kids. I know that.
Okay, you have to show me later.
Okay. And then also Jorn Steinbrenner, born on July 4th, 1930. He was, I believe, either the GM or the owner of the Yankees. Let me see here. Yeah, he was a Yankees owner. He owned them for 37 years. He was probably one of the ones that really was noted for bringing the Yankees to the most World Series. Fun fact, Western Samoa changes the international date line on July 4th. So that year there were 367 days in the country of Western Samoa, with 2 occurrences of Monday, July 4th. That was on July 4th, 1892.
Oh, yeah.
Famous deaths. Now, this is kind of odd. I know this kind of running a little long, but these are pretty crazy. Famous deaths on July 4th. In 1826, we lost former President John Adams.
Okay, president on the 4th of July.
On the same day, we lost former President Thomas Jefferson.
Really?
Same day, same year.
Really?
Both died on the same day, 1826.
Was there a battle going on or something?
No, if I remember, there was, I think, a podcast that I listened to that did say that they died both hours apart. Had no idea. It was just, I think it was, one was consumption. One was, I think, the flu, influenza or something like that. I think it was something kind of common at the time.
Okay.
But also, that's not all the presidents that died that day. James Monroe died on that day, but in 1831.
Wow.
5 years after John Adams and Thomas Jefferson died. Also who died wasn't a president, but was very important. Marie Curie. She was one that created, or that didn't create, but discovered radiation.
Wow.
Died from radiation poisoning, discovering it. They say that her notes are so encased with radiation that they're not, that even to this day, after she died in 1934, and her books and her notes still can't be touched or examined for at least another 300 years.
Wow.
That they say that's when they'll be safe enough for people to handle, even through glass, so they can read her notes and see what she did. But yeah, they are so encased with radiation.
That's crazy.
And then also for the final death, at least for this segment, singer and one of the greatest, smoothest voices of all time, Barry White.
Oh.
Died on July 4th, 2003.
Oh, wow.
So, yep. And that's a long-winded version of History with Henry. So, yeah. So,
that was beautiful, Marcelo. Thank you so much.
Long-winded, but I mean, it's just, I'll have to look more into the deaths on John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, because that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The 2 presidents die on the same day, same year, everything.
Crazy. Some people would probably say it was a conspiracy.
Probably. But what's this about a U.S. quiz that you have for me?
I'm going to give you a U.S. quiz, Marcelo. Can you pass the U.S. citizenship exam?
Ooh, I took one of these in high school in government class my senior year, and yeah, I failed.
Oh, well, I mean, you are a citizen of this country.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be just us simple a-holes here. We want to be U.S.A. citizens.
We want to be us smart a-holes.
Ah. Hold on a second. You're still downplaying us. Hey, moving on. All right. Are you ready for the quiz?
Give it to me.
All right. This is going to be a fun little quiz. All right, Marcelo, question 1.
Okay.
Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Was it A, Thomas Jefferson, B, George Washington, C, John Adams, D, Abraham Lincoln, E, Benjamin Franklin, or F, Alexander Hamilton?
That would be Thomas Jefferson.
You got it. Thomas Jefferson is the primary author of the Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence was adopted by Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776.
Now, if I remember correctly, I'll ask you this. Do you know who was the first one to sign the Declaration of Independence?
The first one to sign?
Yep.
John Hancock?
Yep. Or as you watch Tommy Boy, he says, no, it was Herbie Hancock.
It's funny because for my work, we have certified mail and we have to get a signature.
Yeah.
We have to obtain it.
And actually that's why you asked for the John Hancock.
Right. And so I'm always tempted to use that on someone.
Yeah.
And just say, oh, hey, can I get you John Hancock? Yeah. I'm afraid that
they won't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then I'll look like the weirdo, you know?
Yeah, I know. Because you asked them for a Hancock. So
question 2. All right. If you don't get this one, there's no hope for you. Who was the first president of the United States? A, John Adams, B, George Washington, C, Alexander Hamilton, D, Benjamin Franklin, E, James Madison, F, James Monroe.
It's George Washington.
Ding, 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 ding. George Washington served as the first president of the United States from 1789 to 1797, often referred to as the father of his country.
And fun fact, did you know that he died? I don't know how many years, but he died before the discovery of dinosaur bones.
Oh, really?
Dinosaur fossils. So he had no idea dinosaurs existed.
Wow. That's a crazy thought.
Yeah.
Question 3. Who was the U.S. president during World War I? All right, we're getting a little trickier here. A, Teddy Roosevelt. B, Woodrow Wilson. C, Abraham Lincoln. D, Herbert Hoover. E, Franklin Roosevelt. Or F, John F. Kennedy.
Well, I definitely know it wasn't Kennedy because that was during the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was before the Vietnam War.
You're sounding really smart right now.
I know it was Abraham Lincoln because I was in the Civil War.
Sounding really smart right now.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna. I'm gonna see. Teddy Roosevelt was during the Spanish-American War, or was actually just after that. So he was right around the turn of the century. I'm gonna say it was Woodrow Wilson.
You got it.
All right.
Woodrow Wilson was the president of the United States during World War I. Although Wilson ran on a platform of keeping America out of war, he abandoned his position of neutrality after winning re-election.
Did you ever see the movie The Kingsman?
No, I haven't.
So there's the Kingsman. There's the Kingsman 2, the Golden Circle. And then there's a prequel one that they had called The King's Man. The King's Men, which was the start of the whole organ. It's like a secret organization, MI6 kind of a thing. Took place during World War I. It wasn't real, but the movie was really cool. Good action sequences. Really, really good movies.
Cool. It's getting a little trickier now. Okay. Question 4. When was the U.S. Constitution written? A, 1776. B, 1787. C, 1796. D, 1804.
1776.
You're going to say 1776?
Oh, no. Let's see. You're asking for it's a Constitution.
When was the U.S. Constitution written?
The Declaration of Independence, 1776. But Constitution, I'm going to say the Constitution was probably done the same year. Well, so I had 76, but I'm not fully, not bad.
Sorry, 1776 is not right. Constitution of the United States was written during the Constitutional Convention, which took place from May 26, September 17th, 1787.
Oh, 87? Okay.
Yeah, it's all right. That was a tricky one. I would have guessed the same thing, but
Yeah.
it happened a little bit later. I would have had the Declaration of Independence.
11 years later?
Something like that?
76 and 87?
I'm not doing math right now, my guy. All right, question 5. How many years is the term of a U.S. senator elected to serve? 2, 4, 6, or 8?
Oh, a senator. I want to say a senator is 6.
You got it.
Okay.
U.S. senators serve a term of 6 years. This term length is specified in Article 1, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution. It's good enough for me.
Yeah, I think the 8-year terms, I want to say, are governors, state governors.
It might be right.
Senators are 6 years, presidents are 4 years, and nobody serves a 2-year term.
I'll take your word for it.
And then when you're elected to the Supreme Court judge, you're actually on there for life.
Crazy. Question 6. How many amendments are there to the U.S. Constitution? 10, 22, 27, 30.
So this one's one of those other trick questions.
Yeah.
Then the Bill of Rights are the first 10 amendments of Constitution.
But you know that there's more than 10.
Yeah.
So it can't be 10. So is it 22, 27, or 30?
I'm going to say it's 27. It just kind of seems like an odd number for me for some reason.
You got it.
Okay.
More than 11,000 amendments to the Constitution of the United States have been proposed, but only 27 have been ratified. Wow, man. Pretty cool. Question 7. Which of these states does not border Canada?
Ooh, geography. I would like to freak on geography.
Alaska, Maine, North Dakota, Michigan, Montana, or Oregon. Here are the pictures. Which one does not border Canada?
It's nice. I believe it's Oregon, because Washington's above Oregon.
You got it. Oregon does not border Canada. There are 13 U.S. states that share a border with Canada: Alaska, Washington, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine.
And Michigan and Maine, they border Canada, but there's a lake in between them. So it doesn't actually, I think those are the only states that don't actually physically share a border, but it's basically kind of like a border. Whereas Montana, it's literally it's like how Arizona and Mexico is. So
yeah, it's a very pompous Lake Superior.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Lake Superior. Get better than that. What? Oh, question 8.
Okay.
What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? Louisiana, Texas, California, Florida, Maine, or Alaska? Here are the pictures.
That will be Louisiana.
Louisiana is correct. The United States purchased Louisiana territory for $15 million from France in 1803. The acquisition, commonly referred to as the Louisiana Purchase, which we brought it up on this podcast earlier, nearly doubled the size of the United States.
It did.
Man, that's crazy.
It was, yeah. And then they shrunk it all down. They started divvying up, make the states. It actually, I think it spread as far as north goes up to the Canada border.
Wow.
And then as far as west, it went to, I think, right around Idaho. Idaho? Yeah. Idaho, Utah kind of area. And then west, it went basically right to Mississippi. Mississippi is kind of a borderline for it. So it was a giant territory.
Question 9. I think this is an easy one.
Okay.
Which branch of the government makes federal laws? Legislative, executive, judicial?
I always get these mixed up, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
This is one of the things that I like was burned into my skull.
I want to say it's judicial.
Judicial,
What were the others? Wait, on.
legislative,
Uh-huh.
executive, or judicial.
Okay, maybe the executive then.
You put executive?
Let's do executive branch.
Sorry, executive is not right.
Judicial?
No.
Wasn't even that was legislative? Really? Okay.
Legislative laws, judicial, judges, executive, the president. He can't make laws.
But they can execute.
He can execute. The branch of the U.S. government responsible for making federal laws is the legislative branch, also known as Congress, which is composed of two chambers, Senate, House of Representatives. The bill is passed by both the House and Senate. It is sent to the president, who has the option of signing it into bill, into law, or vetoing it.
So far, I'm not a citizen. I was 2.
So far, you're doing better than me. I mean, if I study a little, I could be a citizen. If you study a little bit, you could be a citizen. All right, question 10. I think this is getting trickier.
All right.
Which is not one of the rights or freedoms guaranteed by the First Amendment of the Constitution? Let me repeat that. Which is not one of the rights or freedoms guaranteed by the First Amendment
Yes.
of the
Okay.
Constitution? It's in speech, religion, assembly, press, petition the government, or bear arms.
Oh, bear arms. That's Second Amendment.
You got it. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution guarantees several fundamental rights. These include freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, the right to assemble, the right to petition the government. The Second Amendment guarantees the right to bear arms. Jeez.
And the third amendment, let's see, I think that's the Fourth Amendment is the legal search and seizure. The Third Amendment, I think, was that law that I can't remember how they've worded it, but I think the gist of it was something like a soldier can't just come kick your door in and say, "You're going to house me," or something like that. I think is what it was.
Yeah, no soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house.
And the Fifth Amendment is basically your right to remain silent, kind of a thing.
All right, that was the quiz. It says
10 questions.
Yeah. It says, are you one of the select few who can pass the quiz? Let's find out. You got 8 out of 10 questions correct. Congratulations. You passed the U.S. citizenship test.
All right. So they grade on a curve, which is what I was always good at.
Well, that's impressive. Here's a little fact. It says, because I know only 30% of U.S. adults and 3% of public high school students in America can pass this exam.
And I was not part of that 3% because I remember when I took it with Miss Brunke, she said you had to get all of them right in order to be a citizen. So they have changed the laws then.
Oh,
because I strictly remember her saying you need to get all the questions right in order to gain your citizenship. And we got one question wrong, as a whole. I think I'm in the Constitution one. And she was like, "Yeah, none of you are citizens." And we were like, "Huh?" And she said, "Yeah, you have to get every one of them right. You got one wrong, so you don't get your citizenship."
And then she called ICE on your whole class. Right, probably. And you all got deported.
Yeah. That was one strange field trip.
Oh, that was fun, Marcella. That was a fun game. Hopefully I can find more games like that in the future.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Games are fun. But enough of the game.
Yeah, let's get into the serious time and go with Simple Times News.
So, here is the first news on Simple Time News today. Here's the headline. Ohio jail accidentally frees murderer suspect because of typo.
Yeah. Just accidentally released a murderer, huh?
Accidentally. This was in Cleveland. Alan, this comes from the AP. I've been friends from the AP.
Which is?
The Associated Press.
There you go.
Associative or associated?
Yeah, I think it's the Associated Press.
Associated.
Yeah.
Press.
I just know it's not the alternative press.
Oh, man. I thought we were past that.
Not quite.
A man awaiting trial on an aggravated murder charge was mistakenly released from a county jail in Ohio this week due to a clerical error, authorities said. A warrant was issued Tuesday for Marion Sanders, 22, of Cleveland, who was being held in Cuyahoga County Jail on $1 million bail. He was mistakenly released Monday after charges were dismissed against a man in an unrelated case, and that defendant's court case number was somehow entered incorrectly. Sanders' trial was due to start August 19th. He's charged with aggravated murder in connection with a September 23 shooting in Cleveland. He has maintained his innocence. His attorney did not immediately respond to requests for comment Wednesday. Numerous county, state, and federal law enforcement agencies, including the U.S. Marshal's Office, are involved in the hunt for Sanders. So, a murderer got away because someone working the computer did some error, either put a 1 instead of a 2, and there we go.
And honestly, from what I remember, I don't think it's the first time either.
No way, really?
Yeah. I can't think of any particular stories, but I do remember hearing something about that not that long ago but they ended up finding out that I guess the clerical error was made by the guy's like secret girlfriend or something like that. It was like, not really conspiracy, but it was a whole like plan to get him out and all that stuff. But yeah, I guess it happens more frequently than you want.
Wow.
So,
quick question, Marcelo.
Okay.
Who do you think is at fault? The clerk? The school system? The education system? Or the person that hired them? The person who hired the clerk? The HR? Who do you think should be at fault here?
Since it's basically made by like a paperwork error, it's the clerk. The clerk is the one that should have.
You think they still have a job?
Probably not. I really doubt it.
All right. Well, I'm going to play this music one more time for you, Marcelo. Here it is.
So, Andrew, let me ask you this before I get into this news article. Have you heard of the name Joey Chestnut?
Joey Chestnut?
Yeah.
I'm afraid I haven't.
Have you ever heard of Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
Yes.
Joey Chestnut is the current world record holder for most hot dogs consumed in 10 minutes.
I heard this story.
So you heard that he was kicked off of Nathan.
Yes, and I'm glad that you brought it to Simple Times Podcast.
Well, he will be battling on 4th of July, but not for Nathan's hot dog eating contest. He'll be battling soldiers. Competitive eater Joey Jaws Chestnut will take his hot dog downing talents to an army base in Texas for America's Independence Day this year after a falling out with organizers of the event that made him famous, the annual 4th of July eating contest in Brooklyn's Coney Island. In case they happen to not talk about it, oh, yeah, they do. Okay. Chestnut of Indiana will compete against soldiers in Fort Bliss in El Paso in a 5-minute hot dog eating contest. That instead of the 10-minute Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest, where he competed against the world's top competitive eater since 2005 and hadn't lost since 2015. In 2021, he set the current record of 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes. They said that he was actually kicked out of Nathan's because he signed an endorsement deal with Impossible Foods, who is a competitive was a competitor of Nathan's Hot Dogs. So they said, well, he can't play. And I know at one point they had said, what's his name? Nishimura, the old record holder, the Japanese guy that used to win all the competitions before they realized that he was taking PEDs. Performance enhancing drugs.
Oh yeah.
And he was cheating, and they banned him from competitive eating. And I know at one point, I don't think it says here if this is the same thing, but they were doing head to head, and it was gonna be on Netflix, and a hot dog eating contest, kind of like a battle of the Titans, Clash of the Titans kind of a thing. Two guys that have the record holders and go head to head on a hot dog eating contest and see who could get it. But I guess this fourth listing came first. So yeah, he will be competing. It'll just be, I believe, on Netflix.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So, from what I heard is that,
have you ever watched those eating competitions?
I haven't watched them with intent, but like video clips and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Some of it can be kind of disgusting, to be honest. Because I mean,
like I think what I've seen, if I remember correctly, is like, like they do whatever they can to make the hot dog easier to eat. Like they'll drench it in water.
And that's actually all they can use. They can only use water. So
they put the hot dog with the bun in water. It makes the bun soggy, and then they scarf it down.
So here's what Joey Chest, and he's talked about his method. He's like, yeah, this is my method. Try to do it best and better than I can. He grabs 2 hot dogs at a time. He breaks them in half, but just the hot dogs, not the buns. He breaks them in half, and then he chomps on them. And as he chomps on them, he has a weird head bob motion, where when he chomps on them, he pushes more hot dog in, and it kind of like, think of like a duck eating. Okay. And then after that, when he
the opposite of a Pez dispenser.
Yeah. And then he grabs the bun, dips it in water, and then eats the bun. And he says that the water helps lubricate the throat. So this way nothing gets stuck. And that's how he keeps eating.
Just hearing you talk about it is making me sick.
But there are other eating competitions. The one, like there's I think there's the gnocchi ones. It's like I can't remember if it's an Italian thing or it's a Jewish thing. But all I know is that it's basically a big ball of dough. And just talk about how heavy they are. I think the record holder is only like 5. Because they said that they literally sit like lead pellets. When you eat one, because it's solid dough, it just goes right into your stomach and just like expands. There's that. There's a chili eating contest, pie eating contest, which I don't mind because I love pie. But the one that kind of like makes me go like just, it makes my stomach kind of churn. Pink lemonade. They have to drink, the fastest to drink a gallon of pink lemonade.
I hope it's not that Minute Maid pink lemonade. Have you had Minute Maid pink lemonade? I feel like it burns my tongue.
Maybe I have. I'm sure I have. But the feeling that you get from like drinking like some of that, remember like that sloshing feel? Imagine that, but it's like a gallon. And there's a guy, it's a big black guy that I've seen all around like TikTok. He like people that challenge him to down like 2-liter bottles of soda. And it just, when you watch him drink it, if you watch his neck, it's like this blob that just like pulsates as he drinks. It's weird, but I just don't understand. In fact, he can down it in like 30 seconds. It's just, it's incredible. But at the same time, it's like, ugh, and then it also reminded me of this, I know I'm rambling on, but there was an episode of CSI where, this guy had some neurological disorder where his stomach and his brain weren't communicating right. So when you get full, the full feeling is your stomach sending responses and synapses up to your brain to say, hey, we're full, stop eating. And that's when you like, oh, okay, I can't eat anymore. But it's an actual disease. Some people don't have that. And this guy didn't. So he was constantly hungry. And I remember, he basically ate himself to death. His brother heard of like his condition and thought, hey, I can make quick money because the prices are like $15,000-$20,000 each. So he entered his brother into all these eating contests that he would just eat himself, until he just couldn't go anymore. But he would be hungry again and I'm in another one. And then do you remember the show 1,000 Ways to Die?
Oh, I love that show. Yeah.
There was an episode where it talked about a competitive eater that died. No, take it back. The competitive eater didn't die. So this is what happened. And it's gross, but I got to share it. So even though there's competitive eaters, there's going to be groupies. Girls that are just infatuated, that just love seeing that. So this guy did a hot dog eating contest, won it. It was kind of like a local one, wasn't really like a big stage one. But this girl was infatuated with it. She thought that was the most sexiest thing she'd ever seen. So she takes him, she meets behind stage and she starts making out with him. But I guess while they're making out and they're doing the tongue dance and all that stuff.
The tongue dance. Elaborate for our listeners. I don't know what this tongue dance is.
Anyways, she triggers a gag reflex. And he basically vomits, but because his stomach is full of nothing but hot dogs, chunk of hot dog comes flying out of his mouth, goes into her mouth, gets lodged in her throat, and she suffocates and chokes on a chunk of hot dog.
Have you seen Monsters, Inc.?
Yes.
Remember the scene where Sully thinks Boo is being crushed to death by like the trash compactor?
Oh yeah.
And every time he pops up to take a peek,
it's like a different face that he makes.
he keeps like fainting.
Yeah.
That was me right now as you were telling that story.
Yeah. I've heard some pretty gnarly deaths when it comes to like eating competitions. So, but
I'm a little disgusted.
But
I need a laugh.
Yeah, with all that fun aside, let's go on with jokes with Hefe. All right, so since it's a 4th of July episode, I figured it's 4th of July jokes.
Yay.
So this list has 60 of them, but I don't think I'm going to do 60. I'll just kind of go until you either tell me to stop or, I get tired.
All right.
So let's begin. What did the colonists wear to the Boston Tea Party? T-shirts. What was the most popular dance in 1776? Independence. What does the Statue of Liberty stand for? Because it can't sit down. You cross a patriot and a dog with curly hair, what do you get? A Yankee poodle. What ghost haunted King George III? The spirit of 76. What do our flag and a sad candy cane have in common? They're both a red, white, and blue. Was the Declaration of Independence written in Philadelphia? No, it was written in ink.
Oh, wow.
Why did Paul Revere die? I'm sorry, not die. Why did Paul Revere ride his horse from Boston to Lexington? Because the horse is too heavy to carry. What is the most popular sport of the 4th of July? Flag football. What protest by a group of dogs occurred in 1776? The Boston Flea Party. What did a patriot put on his dry skin? Revolution.
Revolution.
Did you hear the one with the Liberty Bell? Yeah, it cracked me up too. Which colonists told the most jokes? Pennsylvanians. What is red, white, blue, and green? A seasick Uncle Sam. What does the Statue of Liberty say when visitors leave? Stay in torch.
Stay in torch. Oh, stay in touch.
What do you eat on July 5th? Independence Day old pizza. And then we'll just end it on this one. What did Luke Skywalker say on the 4th of July? May the 4th be with you.
Oh, okay. I like how you neatly wrapped that with a bow. Thank you, Marcelo. That was amazing jokes. Jokes with Hefe, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in, man. We are
we're
close to 2 hours. It's been a long time since we did a 2-hour episode.
God, yeah. And I think our Christmas episode probably the last one.
I know. How does this happen?
I don't know. I
don't even remember.
And it's funny because it's like usually when we're like most tired, that's when we go longer.
When we're the most tired and we don't want to go long.
Yep.
We go long.
Yep.
But anyway, let's close it out. If
maybe we got to do reverse psychology next time. We got to aim for going long, but we cut it short.
We'll go super long. We'll try to go super long, and then it'll end short.
Mm-hmm.
Write to us, simpletimespodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, X. We're mainly on Instagram now. Yeah, that's where we're most active.
Don't forget a fear and review. Spotify, Apple Podcast. Look for a fear and review. And then on Instagram as well, a fear and review.
And coming soon is a very special edition of Simple Sessions with Nate Leathers. That's going to be the next episode on the feed. So stay in touch. Follow. If this is your first time listening to the Simple Times Podcast, hit that follow button on Spotify. Hit that follow button on Apple Podcasts. We know you're listening on those platforms. Give us a review. Give us a 5-star review so that other people can find us. That's the least you can do. We're not asking you for money. We're not charging you a subscription fee to listen to our stuff. No.
Not yet.
What was that?
Huh?
Did you hear something?
I think that was Elmo, yeah. No, he sounded sicker, so he might be dying.
It was a ghost or something. But give us that nice review so other people can find us. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, we should go because you got a lot of episodes listed to by Jonestown. So
yeah, I do.
Just so the shirt can make sense to you.
I'm looking forward to that. And I'm also looking forward to my back neighbor's party to be over. I can't believe they're still blasting music at 11 p.m.
It's Saturday. It's summertime. People are at school. People are off work. It's a 40th birthday. It's gonna be going on for a while.
What are we gonna do for our 40th?
I don't know. Probably be here.